With that, we'll have Anna Koblish and her talk on the curiosity of man.
Yeah, Anna!
Yeah, banana.
Anna!
Hi guys, can you all hear me?
No.
What? Okay. Okay, so before I start, I just want to thank Melissa and Rohan for being amazing club presidents. So my name is Anna. I am a senior here at Conestoga, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a little bit of a space nerd. That's the only way I can really describe it. I think the first time that my love of space first clicked for me was in my 7th grade science class, and the teacher was explaining the expansion of the universe. And I remember being in a state of awe. I could not believe that the universe was this living, breathing, expanding void. And I asked him, I said, well, if it's expanding, what is it expanding into? And his response, I'll never forget it, he looked at me and said, we don't know. We don't know, and it's expanding into nothing. And I couldn't believe this. I was like, what do you mean nothing? Everything is something. You know, the color black, that's a color. You know, what does that look like? And I have thought about this exchange between me and him every day since. And since that day, I have spent so much time researching space. I absolutely love it. I've watched like so many TED Talks on space. I've read so many things, educated myself, because I truly love it. So a few months ago, I wanted to do a TED Talk on black holes. And during this process of developing my idea, I was talking to a lot of different people about what they thought. Getting input, developing theses, whatever. And a universal reaction from everyone I spoke to was, oh my God, that sounds so cool, I want to come see it. And so I started to think to myself, well, why are so many people interested in space? You know, what about it is so enticing? And then I took a step back and I said, wait, why am I interested in space? Why have I spent so much time learning and researching about something that really doesn't even affect me directly? It's out there, yes, it exists, but in my daily life, it doesn't change anything. So here is where the nature of my topic comes into play. Curiosity of mankind. Why are we so curious? Why do we ask so many questions? So I'm going to talk about a few things, different aspects of this topic, but first I want everyone to kind of like take a deep breath and like think about your daily lives and all the questions you ask. So this talk is going to be kind of philosophical, so just like hang in there. I'm scared I'll lose you, but so yeah. Think about, so pretend you're like in your bed, your alarm clock goes off, you're like ready, you're getting up for the day. What's the first thing that comes across your mind when you wake up in the morning? For me, it's just a series of questions. What time is it? Will I have time to put on real clothes? Will I have time to eat? Did I do my homework? And so on, these questions keep building. So, why are we asking these questions? What are these questions? So, this is where I'm going to talk about what I think these questions mean. So I believe that we ask ourselves these questions in order to collect and categorize information in a way that one day we will later to be able to recall it. So I'm going to talk about why we ask these questions a little bit later. So first, I'm going to talk about how we do this. So I believe that we do this through labeling. So we label everything. As humans, we give everything a name. So think about everything in your life. Every object, action, person, place, everything has a name. The sole purpose of things like Urban Dictionary is to give names to things that probably shouldn't even have names in the first place. So in doing this and asking questions and gaining information, I believe that we are doing this as a way to reserve a spot in our memory for this person. We are making it easier for us to recall this later on. So everything that we learn about people, we categorize. So like, if we just had all these stray things in our heads with no way to organize them, it would be hard for us to label who is who, what goes where, who does this, and like this makes it easier. These names give us a sense of control and comfort. And so then I was thinking, like, what happens when humans can't identify something? What happens when we don't know what something is? And I've noticed that we still give things a name. And some really awesome and cool examples of this are dark energy and dark matter. So dark energy is an unknown form of energy that permeates throughout our entire universe. It is responsible for the rapid acceleration of the expansion of the universe right after the Big Bang. And this photo shows, so this is the Big Bang, this is basically like the age of the universe, and we're right here. And so I thought that was interesting. And then dark matter, so dark matter, which is my favorite thing, is a invisible and hypothetical substance that is responsible for gravitational effects on the large-scale structure of our universe. We also have seen its effects in the cosmic microwave background. Little science lesson, that is the thermal radiation that was left behind after the Big Bang. And we know it exists because of gravitational lensing. And here's a photo of this. So the circles surrounding this galaxy cluster in the middle show that these are made of dark matter, so like we know it exists. The reason for why gravitational lensing happens is like really complicated, so I'm just moving on. But the reason that I'm bringing up these two things is because dark matter and dark energy make up for 95% of our universe. Like, that's almost everything around us is made up of these two things, and we have no idea what they are. Scientists have yet to discover any tangible or observable proof that either of these two things exist. So that really says something, because I would like to think that normally if we were told that everything around us is a mystery, of no idea what it is, we have no idea what it's made of, that would normally scare us. So why are we okay with this? Why are we comfortable with this? And I would argue it's because of the names. And these physicists are telling us that they exist, we know they're real, that's it. And that gives us a sense of comfort. So even if we don't understand what something is, we're still okay with it as long as it's labeled. So I've talked about what these questions are, how we collect and organize information. So now I want to talk about why. And if you think about this, just like scientifically, why are humans curious? Why are we advancing? Evolution. Scientifically, that's in our DNA. It is in our human nature to evolve. Asking questions is just a part of who we are. So from living in caves, living in skyscrapers, we have been evolving. From primates to functional, high-thinking human beings. This is just who we are. So evolution is large scale, it's obviously real, and that it plays a huge role in our human identity, but I think there's more to why humans are curious. I think there's something more. We are part of something bigger. And I believe that we ask questions and we inquire to give our time on Earth purpose. Without purpose, mankind would be unmotivated. We wouldn't want to go out and create and learn new things. And we would stay the same forever, and essentially, we would die. So we don't want that to happen. So I think that, okay, sorry. So we evolve and learn as a way to survive as a species. It's detrimental to our survival that we do this. And I believe that much like each individual person on Earth has their own sense of purpose and their own identity, I believe that our role as humans on this Earth, we serve a larger purpose of the universe. We are important. We are here for a reason. If you think about all of the small things that had to transpire just so that we could be alive, that's amazing. And people who think that we're alone, I mean, obviously they're wrong, but I mean, that's incredible that we're even here. So with this, I'm encouraging people to move forward and to dig deeper, which brings me to my final point. Why progression and advancement is so important. I could stand up here and argue with you for hours. I really could about why we need to explore space and why things like NASA are so important. But I don't want to limit this idea of exploration and advancement to just space. We need to keep going in all fields. I think it's dangerous when we become too comfortable in one spot with the technology we have, because then we start to lose sight of the upward trend that we've been following on. Things like Google are really great. You know, we have an infinite amount of knowledge at our fingertips. But at the same way, that can be dangerous. We can become satisfied with just knowing that. And personally, when I was writing this talk, I Googled it. Like, I Googled research to try to build up my arguments. And first of all, there was nothing, so that was frustrating. But then I realized, I was like, the entire nature of my talk is to encourage people to go beyond things like Google, to go beyond, think for yourself, you know? Go further. So I'm glad I didn't find anything, and I'm glad that I wrote this all myself, because that's my point. And so I am encouraging everybody in this room to go out and find something you truly love. And it can be anything. For me, it was space. For you, it might be like fish. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like, and when you find that one thing, like, go with it. Learn everything you can, you know, dig deeper, create new things, be progressive beings, because that's who we are. And I have a quote, which is by, I believe it's Dylan Thomas, yeah. And this is not, it's not a quote, it's a poem, and it's not the full poem, but they use this in Interstellar, which is my favorite movie of all time. Completely changed my life. Totally recommend if you're into space. But I think it applies here. It's saying, don't go out gently, go out with a bang, fight for what you want. And that's it, thank you. So I'll be answering questions if anybody has them.
So with like dark matter and dark energy, what's like, other than like the picture, like there's like no other proof that it exists?
Well, there's no hard and fast evidence. The thing is that gravitational lensing is just one part of it. There's multiple ways that we know. The biggest thing, I guess, is the fact that there's nothing else that would confirm Einstein's theories. So Einstein's theory of general relativity basically says that, I don't remember what it says, but basically, I'm trying here. Like, what was I saying?
Dark matter.
Okay, so we know it exists because something has to been able to prove him right. So for example, we know it exists because of discrepancies in mass. So if you were to take the mass of something, like our solar system, and then take the mass of like an astronomical, like super large thing, it doesn't add up. And the only way that that would be true is if there was something else connecting it. Does that make sense? So like it's almost like the absence of something that makes us think there has to be something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope that
It's a little
makes sense. No, it's so bizarre.
It makes sense.
Everything about space is bizarre. Anything else?
Hey.
So I have like two-ish questions kind of put into one. So you were saying that it's important for us to progress, and you were saying like an example of that is like Google. We have all this knowledge at our hands. Would you say that is like technology progressing or humans progressing, and you think those things can coexist?
Do you mean like we can advance technology while keep like?
Technology is evolving to like we didn't have cell phones or internet or computers until like the last couple years, and but we also, because of this technology, we have all these things that like
more every day.
that ease our lives. So would you say that this technology is considered like the evolution of technology, or humans, or does it just coexist as one?
I think it's both. I think they do coexist because we can use this to our advantage. I'm saying don't get comfortable. Don't let that be it, you know? Like, don't say, oh, I can just Google it. Like, go a little bit deeper, like ask more questions. And obviously it goes hand in hand because technology, we have just scratched the surface, and that's like kind of what I'm saying, is that we have just started to untap this wealth of knowledge, and we shouldn't stop doing that simply because we think we're like we leveled off. Anything else?
So you believe in other life forms?
I mean, I don't believe in them. I just know they're there. It's not really a question. It's kind of like if you are able to wrap your head around how big this universe is, like there's just no way we're alone. Like there's just no way. And the amount of time that the universe has been around, like it's almost, I don't want to say ignorant, but kind of. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking like generally. What? I can't hear you, sorry.
Space, like a vacuum, like that's nothing. So then you think that what would exist outside of the universe, that's already nothing.
I'm talking about like existing in the universe. Like, you know how like we're a planet in the universe, there's like probably like other planets like that. I'm not talking about outside the universe. Outside the universe, probably there's other dimensions, but like.
Like, because you were talking about how outside the universe is like nothing.
What? Sorry, I can't hear you.
You said about, you had that conversation with your teacher.
Oh, right, yeah.
About how outside the universe is like nothing.
Right.
But isn't space nothing? So,
I mean, space, there are subatomic particles that are like living within the space. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like dark energy and dark matter, that's what make up our universe. So like 95% of the, everything around us basically is something. But outside the universe, I mean, we don't know. We probably won't know either because it's just like too far away. But yeah, does that answer your question? Anyone else? Awesome. Thank you.